Welcome to the Feel Better, Be Better show. Today, Kate and Nevada will answer your questions and introduce new topics designed to help feel better and be better. These are raw conversations, but they will make a difference.
So let's see here. We have the exciting fall rendition of nutrition is what we're doing today.
Yep. Seasonal nutrition.
Yep. We don't cover anything like hot dogs.
Nope.
It's all nutritional stuff. No sauerkraut.
A little bit of sauerkraut.
I did not know it was made from cabbage, by the way.
You didn't?
No.
Well, there you go. Learned something new.
I don't. It's just awesome. I don't care where it came from.
Okay. No wonder you like the other dishes we put cabbage in, even though it's not fermented.
Actually, as I'm finding out more and more, I think I just like cabbage.
Yeah, makes sense, huh?
It's just weird. But I'll take it. I don't care. I'll just eat it. So, enjoy the show. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, the winter's starting to come here. We're getting fall.
Don't go to winter yet.
Well,
let's go through fall first.
We got fall coming up, and then we got winter.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the ability to go get, like, fresh vegetables and fruits, that's going to be pretty much gone.
Yeah.
At least in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, it's funny how we kind of do that thing where me and you aren't bad about it, but so many people are, where we're like, oh, it's chili season, we can make chili now or whatever. But I'm like, I can eat chili in the summer. I'm okay with that. And I love when people are always like, well, yeah, but it's like a cold weather food. I'm like, it's still a food. I'm good with that.
All the soups.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, on all our diet stuff, I mean, what kind of things change as we start hitting into these non-local vegetable fruits and type stuff and everything?
Mm-hmm. Well, you see a lot of it with recipes that tend to be more comforty anyways, that a lot of people gear towards more like root vegetables like potatoes, turnips, a lot of those, because they do grow in the fall and winter time. Broccoli actually surprisingly grows more in the fall. I know, weird, huh? Garlic grows more in the fall.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of your typical fruits and vegetables that we think about are more in the summertime. But yeah, those more like earthy carrot, heartier stews and stuff like that, those are kind of known for being more fall type soup foods, because probably people back before you could just grow them all year round in a greenhouse, that's what they had available probably during that season that they were able to make stuff with.
Oh, so we're going on like historical things on that one.
Yes, I'm getting very historical today.
Oh, okay. So I love how you said fall and not winter. You just can't say it yet.
Not ready. Yeah. Not ready.
Not gonna be that far away.
There's nothing. There's no food.
Sure. So, is there anything dietary that we have to look out for at this time then, or?
I mean, as far as trying to eat fruits and vegetables and stuff that are in season are usually better, because if you can find some of that stuff and put it in there, there are options out there. There's a lot of resources you can look up that show what vegetables in your area. Depending on where you live, you might have longer growing seasons or shorter, but show you what's more available during that season, so you can find stuff that's a little bit more nutrient dense because it's not being grown somewhere out of season. But I mean, other than that, I think a lot of it also has to stem down to, I've done a lot of look into like different foods that kind of help boost the immune system too, because as you know, when we get right here, perfect example with my scratchy throatness, when you get into the fall and the winter and kids are back in school and in cramped spaces, lots of colds come home.
Yeah.
You get hit with sickness a lot more, and all you want to do is be home and cozy. And so what foods kind of help with that, and what foods kind of help you get over that?
So do you have any that like are immune boosting?
Of course I do.
What do you got?
What do I got? Okay, so a lot of people know about vitamin C. Vitamin C is really good for the immune system, so you're looking at your citruses, grapefruit, oranges, all those. I mean, other ones that are high in vitamin C are strawberries, kiwis, bell peppers, all really great. But besides that, your other two vitamins that are really good for that are vitamin A, which is in broccoli and spinach. Broccoli is like the vegetable. And I'm not just saying that because I love it. It's an awesome vegetable to include in a lot of different things. And then
probably gonna eat like the stem on that one and not the ends.
No, the ends are where all the colors at.
Okay.
So you're good there. It's not like most fruits where like I love this fruit, but I'm not gonna eat the peeling, and that's where all the nutrients at.
Mm-hmm.
And then with your vitamin E, that's like avocados, almonds, sunflower seeds, dark leafy green vegetables. So eat a dark salad.
Okay, so let's say you happen to be lucky and have like a greenhouse where you can kind of allow yourself to eat different kind of stuff that's not necessarily in season. Do you see any is there any loss of nutrients or anything like that when you're getting those kind of vegetables, or?
I don't know on that end. I would
Just
have
curious.
to look that up. I don't know. That is a very good question. I mean,
You would imagine not, but
yeah, because I mean, it's not just from the time of season. I would imagine it depends on your soil levels and what you've got for nutrients in that and what you're giving your plant. And I mean, if you're doing everything as far as grow lights and stuff go to help them grow, I don't know that there would be, but I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
It's not my area. I'm really good at eating the food. I'm not necessarily good at whether it should be like the food I should be eating, but I'm really good at eating it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then, I mean, those are all great for fruits and vegetables. So if you're throwing in your different meals, being able to add some of those in there. Some other great options are, you and I talk a lot about inflammation and in the body and everything like that. And a lot of times when you're sick, you have increased inflammation. I mean, just think about when you have a sore throat and your tonsils get swollen. I mean, that's all inflammation. And so, it's not just coincidence. A lot of people are comforted by your, story of chicken soup, having chicken soup and being comforted by a nice warm steamy meal. Granted, chicken soup, if you just buy it from the store, is not that great quality to really help you out. But I mean, bone broth is great. It's got a lot of great collagen in it. It's got, especially if it's pasture raised bones that you're using, has a lot of omega-3 in there, which is really good for reducing inflammation. Our pasture meats that we talk about, so pasture finished chicken and beef, or if you get wild caught salmon or trout or some of your fishes, you'll have omega-3s which help reduce it. Turmeric is a great spice. Garlic, especially if you can eat it raw, is really great for reducing inflammation.
As opposed to cooking with it?
If you cook with it, it's fine, but if you eat it raw, it's supposed to help a lot more. And I am not a doctor, so don't take this as doctor information, but
I never thought about eating garlic raw.
yeah, some people just eat cloves, just regular cloves of garlic to help themselves out.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Or they'll put it, another common thing is to take the raw garlic and put it in apple cider vinegar to make a fire cider, which is a spicy apple cider vinegar that's supposed to just be more helpful. So yeah, if you can make some soup with some nice homemade bone broth and your pasture chicken in there and throw in your carrots and onions and some garlic, I mean, those are some good options right there.
Well, I'm assuming the beginning of chicken noodle soup was probably more of the bone broth with some chickens and some noodles and stuff like that. Now it's kind of evolved to be more like salt water.
Yes.
Which is still yummy.
Yes, but not as helpful for helping you feel better and get better.
And a great place to put, saltine crackers, which are so good for you.
Yes.
They have so many nutrients in those saltine crackers.
Yes. But even with that, I mean, a lot of recipes that we've liked to use kind of try to make it a little healthier. So with your chili is very comforting food too. I mean, when we're cold, we want something warm and hearty. And we used the grass finished beef. We added bell peppers. You're getting your vitamin C and some onions and garlic, lots of different spices, and so you're getting a lot of variety of stuff there too.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got quite a few recipes that I love that are kind of yay, these have a lot of good things for you.
Yeah, we kind of just mix them all up. So yeah, we're gonna take all these things and just put them together and make them into something. Yeah, that'll work.
Yes.
I think it's really easy though. I mean, you go somewhere and you're like, oh, soup sounds good, chili, whatever. And that sounds great, and you feel like you're kind of almost doing something healthy, and then you kind of learn what's in it, and it kind of changes your opinion a little bit. Almost I was a big time on chicken noodle soup was basically salt water and some noodles. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, really keeping an eye on what you're actually putting in your body in the wintertime can be kind of tough, because on the flip side, if you want to, revert to maybe being heavy protein, which is kind of an easy way to keep your nutrients in line, it's a lot harder to just grill when it's, high of 22 degrees or something.
Yes.
It's harder to go outside and grill on that one.
Yes. Very much
Nobody's like, let's have a cookout and do some burgers. No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact when you don't feel good, the last thing you want to do is usually like cook a whole meal.
Yeah.
So with some of these too, I mean, a lot of your soups and stuff can freeze really well. So maybe make some of those ahead of time so you can just pull them out when you don't feel good. So you're like, I have something good for my body that also tastes really good, and I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Because I know I get that way. I'm like, I literally just don't want to do anything. I just want something warm. I told you that this weekend. I was like, I just want something warm and cozy for dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, those
And I said mac and cheese.
I know, and that's not gross. I'm probably going to get, like, blasted on the internet for saying that. The one comment everybody gets all controversial about. You don't like mac and cheese? What the heck? Another great, outside of your soups and stuff, is fresh ginger root is really good for your immune system as well. It's very anti-inflammatory. So that usually pairs a lot with garlic in a lot of Asian dishes. So, I mean, you're adding a lot of those, have meat with broccoli and stuff like that. So something else that's warm and hearty and has a lot of those good ingredients in it.
Now, what if you just have an inflammatory personality? I mean, does that like just ruin you and anybody else in your vicinity?
Yep. But don't worry, that food will help mellow you out.
Okay, so it's kind of like an offset.
Yeah. Another thing, a lot of people really like to use elderberries or other type of berries. They have really good antioxidants in them that can help with your immune system when we get into cold and flu season. So, I mean, there's been some stuff out there that shows that it helps boost your immune system and helps kind of tone down cough and stuff. Like we have from Mindfully made some elderberry syrup and she uses local honey in it. And so honey itself is really soothing on the throat. So it can kind of help with a lot of that crud that's going around. Trying to think of anything else really good that you can add in there.
Is there anything we need to make sure we focus on? I mean, that's easy to kind of go away from during the warmer, springier, fallier months.
I think it's just easier to get in more carb-heavy dishes and less vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
When we get in the summertime, it's really easy to want to eat fresh and light, and fruits and vegetables sound a lot better because they're watery and you eat them cool a lot of times. And so I think it's easier for a lot of people to eat that and it's in season and right in front of you. Whereas when you get to the winter and the fall, it's a lot easier to go with those dishes that are heavy carb and meat and just completely forget to add in your vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever you can sneak them in. Like I said, with our chili, we snuck in vegetables there. We constantly try to add stuff in, or like if you're going to make chili, maybe have a salad with it. A
lot of our roasts and stuff that we do our meals with, which I love roasting all times of the year. But we sneak in vegetables with trying to make them a little more, all around meals real quick.
Yeah. Or you roast up, like we roast up vegetables for a side dish, and that's super easy. I mean, outside of cutting them, drenching them in olive oil and seasoning, it takes like 15 minutes to cook in the oven. So I mean, it's not hard, and there you have them to eat with your stuff, and you're not missing out on that if you don't want to include the vegetables in the meal.
Yeah.
So good easy hacks to add those in there. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like a lot of our dishes that we tend to like in our comfort food tend to be kind of carb heavy.
Yeah.
So
like, yeah, give me some more of the cheese and the breading.
Yes.
And bread.
Yes.
In general.
Lots of bread, lots of pasta, lots of noodles in your soups, and yeah.
Now we tend to use whole wheat noodles, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference on those?
I mean, they've got more of the nutrient from the wheat stock in them. So they're less stripped of everything. They keep you full longer and they have a little bit more to them. Now, if your body doesn't do well with like gluten and all that, then I mean, it's not really a good substitution at that point. But
I like the taste on them better.
I do too. I honestly eat less too because I can tell that I get full faster on them. I feel more dense. But yeah, I had a thought, but I don't remember. Went poof.
Well, you were thinking about the fact that sometimes we've actually used some interesting vegetables like spaghetti squash to substitute for even noodles, and had some interesting meals on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I think a lot of people hear spaghetti squash and just think of the only thing people do with it is make spaghetti on spaghetti squash. And I mean, just this weekend we made sloppy joes on spaghetti squash, and that is a phenomenal combination. If I say so myself, I think it is amazing.
And we modified a Mexican dish to go on there.
We did, and that was really good. What else did we put with it? But we tried eggs, and what else was it?
It was like a breakfast bowl we were trying to come up.
I was trying
not
to come
good.
up with
that
one did not work out, but there's a lot of other things that seem to work well on it. Another really good one is acorn squash. So we've used that with we've got a recipe online that's like, what is the name of it? It's like acorns and bell pepper and ground beef bowl, but it's very hearty because the squash is almost more like more consistency of almost like a potato, so it's a little thicker, and then you've got your bell peppers in there and your little bit tomato base and your meat, and it doesn't sound, Brussels sprouts are in there too, so you get your greens. But that one is really good. And then we had another one with butternut squash that we used, but I can't remember.
Yep. Yeah, we constantly keep using all the different squashes.
Yes, all the squashes.
Yep.
Learn how to use all the squashes. But yeah. Trying to think of some other good hacks that we've used with some of our other recipes in the fall that we really like. I know we've got some good ones, but
we can save that for another day.
True. And we're just kind of constantly adding those online, so if they sound delicious, go check them out.
If you have any that we're not covering, send them in to us, yeah?
Definitely. Definitely. I think outside of that, the only two areas that really help health-wise that you can kind of easily add in is, I'm going to try this one because I'm not very good in this area, is probiotic food to kind of help support your gut, because your gut kind of stems how your health goes everywhere else in your body. And so yogurt is really good for that. Now, I'm not a big dairy fan, so I don't need a lot of yogurt, but other options are like kombucha, which is a drink that's been fermented in it. The taste is a little different to me, but it takes some getting used to, but that's a good option. But we're looking at adding more sauerkraut into stuff, raw sauerkraut, because it doesn't really have like a strong taste. So I think I can add it in places, and
well, it can definitely have a very strong taste.
It can, but I think if you add it in the right stuff, what it pairs with, you won't notice it as much. But
it does very well as a complement to the right kind of taste. Me, as a person that likes sauerkraut and actually they gravitates towards sauerkraut, I'm just chuckling because I'm like, I have no problem with sauerkraut. I eat plenty of sauerkraut.
Yeah, so work on adding that a little bit in to like support everything.
I wonder why sauerkraut is one that's very picked over on that one. Like
well, because you can ferment anything, but that one tends to be the one vegetable that is commonly fermented and used. Because you can do, I'm trying to remember the other options they had on there, but they had a bunch of different vegetables that you can technically ferment and use.
Okay.
The cabbage just tends to be the one that is what sauerkraut is made out of.
Okay.
That a lot of people have access to.
I just want sauerkraut that tastes yummy on my hot dogs in particular with mustard. So healthy.
Ketchup is better, but debate for another
day.
Put it in the poll on the bottom. Would you prefer ketchup or mustard?
Okay. I'll vote for mustard multiple times.
Can't do that. One vote.
I get multiple.
No. You don't get each vote for your personality, different personalities.
Yeah, I can. All right, anything else for the winter time coming?
I don't think so. I'm just excited. I got my fall stuff on today. I'm just excited for fall. It's my favorite.
I like it when it gets colder. I don't like the heat. So I'm good with the colder. All right, y'all try to stay warm when it gets cold out. Have a good night.
Thank you for watching. Kate and Nevada hope you've enjoyed this show and found it useful and empowering. If you have any questions or comments, please contact them at Knetix.com. That's KNETICX.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. And please write a review of the show. Kate and Nevada appreciate hearing the feedback, and they welcome your reviews, and your word of mouth will help others learn how to feel better and be better.